We actually built this car back in 2019. He purchased it. We just replaced that crank pulley right there, and he complained that it's squeaking and makes a few rattles, and he was a little apprehensive after buying the car. It's obviously got an aftermarket bumper on, so whenever you see that, it kind of takes away from the car, and then you see, you know, the fiberglass fenders, you see the ripples and the marks. It starts to make you feel like the car is worse than what it is. It actually checks out pretty good. It's got some aftermarket bushings in, which are the urethane, which squeak. There was a rattle underneath we found. It looked like it had been not backed into, but somebody bumped the exhaust. The exhaust on this side was pushed all the way this way, and it made it look worse. We fixed that. It just gives us the okay to do the bushings. He wanted to check on the hubs. We had hubs for it, but now we found out after taking it apart, these are Carcep's hubs. So it's got the better hub, so we don't have to do that. That saves him a little bit of money there. If I can get in there, you see that? The urethane bushing, they squeak. Doesn't matter what you do. You can grease them, you can take them apart, you can use their grease, you can use aftermarket grease. They always squeak. It's just the nature of those bushings. So we're gonna take this thing apart, take all those out, replace them with the Hard Race. There's the back of a control arm, urethane bushings. These are the Hard Race. So we have installed a lot of sets of these, maybe a dozen sets over the years, back in the 2000s, and even we did some like 4 years ago, and it came back squeaking. It wasn't just one squeak, it was like multiple squeaks. It drives you batty. And we used the proper grease. We put tons of it on there. You can see there how much contact it's had. It's just squeak city. It just drives you batty. It'll make a good car feel like a junk car. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That'll make any car feel great. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, you think there's like 6 of those per side?
Yeah, look, there's grease just spewing out. There's plenty of grease in there. That is all the bushings we took out the back. Every single one of them is dry. There was a couple wasn't too bad, but this is the rest for the front. All the back is done now. All of those bushings are changed over to the Hard Race. This is going to make such the difference. Not just how tight it is, but that squeaky squeak. That would drive you bonkers. I've told you guys so many times in the past, you can take a nice car and put 3 or 4 squeaks and a rattle into it, and it'll feel like a pile of crap. And it's that little stuff that adds up. So one thing we're going to talk to him about is it has the, right here, looking through the camera, it has aftermarket diff mounts. These transmit a lot of vibration. They also make the drivetrain feel a little bit iffy. That's something we might do the next time around. This car just got dropped off. I've basically got to drive this car and check it. It said it's got a little bit of a pulsating in the pedal. I thought it might be brake lines, but pulsating is usually brake rotors and pads. So let's drive this, double check it. 82,000 miles. Super nice S2000. These cars are just so good. I know you watch our channel and you probably think I'm biased. I am, because I own one and I work on them daily. Morning.
Good morning.
Look at that. Esther coming out of the sun with coffees. But they really are that good. Gonna go for a ride? You carrying coffees? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Another time. They're way better than you realize. Once you start doing a few mods to them, they just get better and better. And the fact that if you take care of them, they last so well. I can feel in the brake pedal already. Remember I told you about going down driveways? Make sure your wheel is straight before you go down a driveway. Even though you go on a 45-degree angle, you want that wheel to go up into the fender well and not rub into your fender. I mentioned that somewhere in a video. I want to keep drumming it into you because I see it happen so often, especially aftermarket wheels. If you're a little bit more aggressive on the offset, that wheel will come up and run into the fender. That's no good. So I'm just going to run it up here and get on the brake, kind of feel it out. Yeah, you feel a little bit in the pedal. That's just brake rotors. It's not that bad. He's talking about doing our brake package, so we're not gonna just sell him rotors or turn rotors or any of that kind of stuff. We're gonna do our brake package. Let's take it back. One other thing you asked about was the leak on the cylinder head. Yes, I don't have my seatbelt on. I'm usually a big seatbelt guy. Right there. That's the leak. No big deal. It's not going to be a squeaker. Oh, yeah. Sounds like an old Ford truck, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You get an old Ford truck going in the driveway and it does that out of every single corner. Hi, Esther.
Hi.
Delicious coffee. Have a great day. All right, that one is done. Lower front arm. This is the compliance bushing. Said so many times in past videos because I don't want you to run into the same issue, but make sure you clean and grease everything that goes back together. You remember it's a tube in there? This is it right here. That fits through there. And you see how tight that is? If that seizes in there, the only way to get it out is to cut the bushing both sides and then order a new one of these. It's gonna add a lot of stress to your day. Even if you're not planning on pulling it apart, just make it easy for the next guy. That goes together like that. Grease everything. There's no moving on that, so you can use anti-seize. You don't need lubricant, you want anti-seize, and then put that in there. These are the last three right here. These are for the front compliance bushing. Other bushing, shock bushing right there. Now everything is sitting in the right height, so we're basically, it's still on the lift, so it's under control, but we've got all the suspension on jack stand, so it's in the right position. All the bushings are locked down. That way the bushings start from here. As the suspension goes up, it isn't deflecting that much. If you tighten it in the droop position, then it goes to the right position, it twists the bushing so much more, you're gonna damage the bushings. This is the way you're supposed to do it. Take this one for a quick ride. We'll check it. It's going to need an alignment, which we showed in the past video. We have an alignment guy that is really good, and he will set it up exactly how you want him. But the fact is, he takes his time. He doesn't just put one in the green and one in the green, which could be negative on one and positive on the other. He matches them, which is the most important part. But this should be so much better after all that squeaking. This is so much better already. I literally drove it up to this little section right here and brought it back because it was already just squeaking and groaning and creaking, and it had a rattle. The exhaust was contacted in one place. Oh, he's gonna be in love with this. Like I mentioned, a few rattles and a few squeaks will really make the car just feel way worse than what it is. And that was something he mentioned. He said, can you go through it and tell me if it's a good car? Tell me if I should keep it. If not, I'm going to sell it. Because he bought this from somebody just recently. And I told him, once we get rid of those squeaks and groans, this will be a good car. So yeah, this thing is money. I think this is going to be a good car now. Yeah, it's so much better. It's got more feedback. Obviously, like I mentioned, just touch the wheel and it's got immediate feedback. No squishiness, no sponginess, and no creaks. Definitely is going to need an alignment, which we knew about. So if you've never experienced one of these builds, it's a game changer. 400 horsepower at 300 foot-pounds of torque. It is an absolute game changer. It's where these cars just really come alive. And of course, it sounds good too. All right, this one's good. Let's call him, tell him it's squeak free. This car was brought in, Esther booked this car, and this one needs some major TLC. It came in for a clutch, valve adjustment, replace a mirror, deck lid broken, doing some fluids, but we need to give this some TLC. It will be on a full episode. I don't want to show you too much about that. We're still looking for a detail sponsor. I want to have a detail sponsor that basically gives us some products so I can use it to clean cars when we're done with them, and then have a select few that we put in our store for sale. It has to be a product I like. I did get a company approach me to sell me some products as well as give me a big care package, and I turned them down because I don't like the product. Tried to be as professional as I could. I just told them it has to be something I believe in. I don't want to sell you something I wouldn't buy myself. It's just a simple philosophy. Everything in our store are a good product that I would buy. I don't want to sell it just because it's available. I've told you guys this in the past, and I do appreciate the sales, appreciate the people spending money in our store. And just remember, I will never sell you something I wouldn't buy myself. Keep an eye on this one. This one is going to be interesting. There's all the bushings that came out of it. I always like to just save your parts. Typically this wall, if you look along this wall, it always looks like the stuff that is coming from the car that we just worked on. That way, if you want it, all your stuff is together. You're welcome to take it. I don't keep any of your stuff. If you take it, great. If you don't, we throw it in the bin because I don't want any more junk. I've got enough junk of my own. This one is good. I think he's going to be really excited about this car. Like I mentioned, when he first brought it, he was kind of apprehensive about keeping it. He said, I don't know if it's a very good car, I don't know if it's as good as what I thought it was. And I'm pleased to tell him that basically refinish the bumper, or in my opinion, to take that bumper off and put a factory one back on. Same as the fenders. I don't like this aftermarket stuff. I mean, I get what it's going for. They just never fit quite like OEM. I'm a big OEM guy. The factory stuff is just the best. But if you spend a little bit of time and work that, get a good paint shop to fix that and paint it, it will look nice. And it's a good looking car. It drives fantastic. Now it doesn't squeak or rattle. It feels great. The crank pulley isn't looking like it's going to fly apart now. I think he's got a good car. If he does watch this video, thank you so much for bringing the business to us and trusting LHT with your work. And for you guys watching, hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the share. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your car.